I dedicate this film to all Այնթապցis and particularly my dear father Garabet Kaljian. My fatherland, the sweetest thing. This is why wars take place. I wish this earth could speak and tell us what it has seen. As a child, I was a branded Այնթապցի with this fictitious Այնթապ. Այնթապ, Al-Leben, Jartlach Kebab, Այնթապցի. The conclusion was that there was Այնթապ and only Այնթապ. The rest was not important. They always asked, Այնթապ Limison Am, and then there was a rude answer to it. There was Այնթապ College, Այնթապ Vorpanots, American Hospital. There was Այնթապ Kebab, Այնթապ Lahmacun, particularly the Çiğ and Yahnili Küfte. They constantly talk about Այնթապ. Now let's go search this Այնթապ of the Armenians, which used to be a fiction, now it has become a reality. Now I'm on top of the citadel. I feel like I'm on top of the world. So powerful, so energized. Looking down at the panorama of the Այնթապ. The citadel is a mini replica of the citadel of Aleppo. I could feel the energy of my ancestors within me. I can't wait to get down to the Armenian neighborhood to see the old homes and whatever Armenian I could find. I was surprised to hear that this old lady had sent her grandchildren to ask us in to show us an Armenian home which was built the turn of the last century. The house had a nice courtyard, fountain with a fish pond. Then there was a sala where they crushed the grapes to make wine or to make anything, any sweet with wine. They crushed the grapes with their feet and put the pot underneath to get shire, sujuk, bastıq, kasma, and these are sweets made with grapes. She was delightful. She had a nice Այնթապ Turkish accent which I hadn't heard for a long, long time. We left the home as if we had visited one of our old relatives. An old man was sitting on a bench in the park. He was about 93, 94. I sat with him and asked him about how old he was and who he was. And I told him we were Armenians. Oh, he was delighted. He said, after our Armenian friends disappeared long time ago, my brother and I were devastated. My friends just disappeared and never came back. We are human beings and we were brothers. Armenians left Այնթապ and they took the barakat with them. They took the blessing with them. This is what he said. I wonder if my father has played in this neighborhood. We came across to this house where there was an engraving on the wall. It said, Rab Sadığın Xanesini Mübarekler, Աստված գործնի հավատացյալին դունը. God blesses the believer's home. It was written in Armenian letters, but in Turkish. So the Turks, they couldn't read it. A Kurdish family had bought the house and curiously they dug the basement to see if they could find any gold, but all they could find was a skull of a human being with a nail nailed to the forehead. I wonder if my father lived around here. This is an old Armenian church demolished. The door was stolen, replaced with an iron door. We are in the Armenian quarters of Այնթապ, now mostly demolished, to pave the way for new roads. But a few years back, when I first visited here, there were visible homes, but in ruins. Now they're all gone forever. The famous Asvadzadin church, built in 1892, stands with its grand glory, with only minor additions of the two minarets. As you can see the bell tower on the right, it is changed to a minaret now. Krikor had the guts to get in and sing two gorgeous sharagans. Just listen to a full Armenian church acoustics. Only Armenians could have built such a monumental church in the 19th century. It was the jewel of Այնթապ then, and still it is the jewel of Այնթապ now. And my father was Այնթապցի. Let's say oh. This old barber shop is very original. Even the wood is never painted. It's 200 years old. It's got a 100-year-old chair where I sat down to have a haircut. This barber has inherited the shop from his great-great-grandparents. He has been working here for 60 years, and he said many Armenians have been through this barber shop. And I wonder if my father has had a haircut right here.
Ben 60 senedir buradayım.
Sen?
Ha.
Batım dayıyı atıyor. Senden evvel
Babam, dedem, ona hepsi var.
Metales, Metales. Bu dükkan kaç senelik?
Bu dükkan 200 senelik.
Ay. Yes, bu halde darba. Chestnut, 200 years old. Babanın, senin deden
Evet.
elinden alışveriş etmişler.
Many Ayntabti Armenians have had great luxury homes all over Aintab. That's why they think they are superior to the rest. They've been well-to-do, well-educated at Aintab College. Now, years later in Aintab, one of this model Armenian family house has become a museum for Aintab. The well-to-do Karamanukyan's house is a model house of a luxury living towards the turn of the last century. There's a room for the mother-in-law, senior bride, junior bride, new bride, large kitchen, nice furniture, Armenian carpets, wine cellar, and you name it. Nice apricot tree right in the middle. It's a 3-story house, now changed into a museum. Thunder room in Armenian is Toneri Senyak, where we got together in the winter to warm under this comforter. We socialized there. This is a wine cellar. They must have had lots of wine. Here it's about 10 degrees. Now outside is about 40 degrees. After a long search, we came to this red sign which said American Hospital. According to my father's diary, the orphanage was in the premises of the American Hospital. My father had lost his parents just before the First World War, must be 1912, 1913, and was taken to the Halajan orphanage by his younger aunt, who took him to the orphanage, bribing him with a coin and a pocket knife. And then she took him there, met with another lady friend of hers, and she disappeared. He was assigned a senior boy to help him around. So we were thrilled with this discovery. We went through the gate. Wow, what a nice garden hospital with lots of fruit trees, grass, greenery, flowers, etc. Now where do we go from here? My father has written this diary in March of 1948, and he describes the orphanage in details. It has the Ottoman emblem on it. American College 15 վայրկյան փլուրի վրա էր։ Եվ մենք պետք է American College երթայինք։ My father describes 1914 to 1918 as horrifying years, as a nightmare for them. They were ordered to evacuate the hospital immediately in one day because the Turkish army was coming from Urfa to occupy the hospital. So they worked like an army of ants, grabbing anything they can carry. They rushed down the hill to get up the hill to go to the Այնթապը American College. They were told they have no permission to go to the college until doctors Merrill and Shepard came for their rescue and saved them. This was the day when they were all to be killed. In the group, there were Vera Badveli Garabed and Abraham Harutyunyan, Dr. Merrill's wife, Abraham Khoja, a famous teacher, Digin Ofsanna Küpelyan, their principal, and her two daughters, Araksi and Agnes, Baron Sarkis Balyan, Baron Lutfi Kundakjian, Sarkis Balabanyan, and a few Mayriks, plus the orphan boys, around 80 of them. He says, God helped us, and we safely went up the college and stayed there for 3 years. Our food was one bowl of watered down soup a day and a piece of chekcheki bread. For 3 years they stayed at the college until they escaped to Aleppo. The boys in the orphanage fed themselves by night on these fruit trees. The apricots, the grapevines, pomegranates, pistachios, walnuts, pear trees, peaches, olives, cherries, and lots of other berries. Tut, mulberries, and lots of berries. In the morning when they couldn't hide their stains on their clothes, they had a beating by their teachers. But that never stopped them. This is the well where they had daily cold drinking water.
Kızlar Koleji, Amerikan Kızlar Koleji.
Kolej o tarafta.
O tarafta.
Ha, şimdi poliklinik oldu.
Kimse bilmiyor. Orada kolej.
Sonra kolej deyince.
Kierkegaardam, բաբայիս նոթերը, ամերիկյան հիվանդանոցի գից ընդարձակ հողի վրա ուներ 2 մեծ շենքեր, երահար, մին և նոր անունը գուդային, ընդարձակ պագով և բադես պանչարանով ու ժայրի փորված ընդարձակ կարակ, որ միայն ձարերու կոչղեր քյութուկ կլեցնեին իպր վայելանյութ։
Հիմա ետ նայիր, խնդրեմ, ետ նայիր։
We are at the American Hospital backyard, where the Halajian orphanage had originated. We are trying to find it, but I didn't have any hopes. We sat down for a bite, and my friend Dikran just asked me to turn around. And what a view, what a shock. Just by mere accident, we're sitting right in front of the cave where the orphanage used to be. My father describes it as a cave with 3 windows. Now I am in an emotional shock to face the real thing which I was not ready for. This was it. I'm here, right at the orphanage. From this cave, the boys were finally moved to the 3rd floor of the hospital. They had a decent sunny room with long double windows, shiny wooden floors overlooking the city. They heated the room with their breath and with their body heat. My father now would have been 101 years old, born in 1905. Baba Smilena.
Բադուրս բարձր սարի վնաս չէ